Good morning, 11:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Monday, December 19th, 2022. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. As we look at the newly formed trading week, we have the U.S. dollar currency index up to 194.901. As I anticipated a break up this week, I anticipate at least a move up to about 105.53, and then ultimately, can we come back up and retest the 106.20? This is a descending triangle, and these are generally bullish reversals at the bottom, assuming we don't have that catastrophic dump down. If we have a catastrophic dump down, that would mean we'd get a rejection up here at about that aforementioned 106.32 or 105 spot. We'll say 105.33 in this area. Then ultimately, we'll see if we can break all the way up to 106.20. You get above that, then you can start talking about retesting that broken ascending triangle, or slightly ascending triangle, I suppose you could say. So that's what we're looking there. We've also got to talk about Swift today, which we'll get to that at the end of this update. As Swift's latest innovation targets 500 banks in 120 countries. And I hear a lot of people on social media now saying, how could we have missed Swift? How could we have thought it was going away if Swift is actually going to be a big competition to Ripple? It's been my thing the whole time. They're ISO compliant. They've already got their framework updated for the new standard of transferring money. So that's why I keep saying the cross-border payment thing is played out with Ripple. It's not the cross-border payments region. You should be so excited. Swift has the capabilities of cross-border payments. It's the on-demand liquidity. Not even Swift can compete with the liquidity of the ODL by XRPL. It's just that simple. So then we got the U.S. 10-year government bonds up 2.81%. So almost up 10 basis points this morning, 3.588. Crude oil is up 74.41, down 0.2%. It had a quick reversal. It was up about 2% last night. You can see it quickly pulled back down. Gold silver ratio 77.742, so it's getting back closer to 80-1. Gold's down $7, 17.85. I believe we might have a down week this week, as I've talked about. I think this is going to start possibly pushing down as early as today. And if we lose this 17.87, which right now we have, it's looking very bearish. Silver's back under $23, as I suspected. I think we're going to eventually come back down here to about 21.27, if not a little bit lower to 21.10. But we find all that out today. If we can hold 23.14 somehow and pop up and break 24.75, that would be huge, but I don't see it happening. I think all commodities are going to be down today, and I warned on Friday and all of last week that this was coming, because I think the U.S. dollar is having a little bit of a spike up, and that's going to cause all commodities and risk assets to go down. It's just the way it works. Platinum down $7 to $980. It came back down to the $1,000 threshold. It was up to over $1,100 at one time early last week, or late the week before. Now we're at 980.50 per ounce. Copper's down 0.08%, 3.766 per pound. Total crypto market cap on this Monday morning sits down at $764 billion, just down about $4.29 billion or 0.56%. Total crypto market cap followed a very key rising channel, and we have the targeted move measured out, and it brings us all the way down, believe it or not, to $539 billion approximately. We've got 658 and 561 underneath. And also 728 we're looking to break to continue on this bear flag. And it looks very bearish this morning. Very, very bearish this morning. We need to break back up above 774 with some volume. And right now we're $10 billion under. We've got Bitcoin down 75 points this morning, down to 16,677 approximately. Bitcoin has come all the way down, retested the bottom of this channel. And now we need to get back above 16,839. This doesn't look done, though. And the 4-hourly, this looks like it's still got more room to break down. It looks like this bear flag's going to have to play out. And that looks like it snuck in. Left shoulder, head, coming to the right. It looks like we're going to break down. It really does. We've got 16,276 on this next breakout if we just pull this over extension, which I love doing because it gives you a nice basis. And then you can also see, if you overextend this out, how we actually received our... So this can actually give you a couple different real close support levels at 16,478, 16,175. You break that, then you can start this continuation to the downside. And if it plays true, You're coming down to around the 12,500 level, depending on where it decides to bust down. And then the USDT, same thing. In order for this to get back bullish, we got to get back above 17,000. Right now, it looks very weak. Very weak this morning. We've got XRP clearly breaking down. Clearly trying to make its move down to this 32 cent area, but we've got a few things in between. So it's not like we can just go there. Again, there's the breakdown. Got the retest. And you got rejected. This is the technical target. If this was the breakdown point, and it almost hit it 100% on the nuts. And the technical target of a place here on this bear flag would be about 23 cents, just shy of 23 cents. So we have got to pay attention to that. The perpetual futures chart shows it the best. Broke down out of the symmetrical, came down below the bear flag even, and now we're back testing to the backside of it. The next move down becomes pretty incredible once you break these levels. The next support level is that 335, and then you break that, and that's when all shit can break loose, as I've already shown you the other support levels. So hopefully you're paying attention to this update, and if you don't understand how I just went through the 4 different XRP charts, watch it again. SWIFT. We need to read this. Is Ripple ready? SWIFT's latest innovation targets 500 banks in 120 countries. SWIFT, the global financial messaging services company, unveiled the SWIFT Go service in July last year, entering market competition with Ripple and low-value cross-border payments. At the time, only 7 major global banks had signed up to the service, to use the service. And I was one of the only ones that was covering this last year because everybody was so fixated on Ripple. And I said, listen, everybody's counting out SWIFT, but they made some deals. They're ISO ready. They've signed some banks up, and now they've added 500 banks in 150 countries. According to a recent SWIFT publication, this number has grown as more than 500 banks in 120 countries have signed up to enable low-value payments through the SWIFT Go platform. And I talked about SWIFT Go last year about mid-June and brought it up, and that's why I actually started my ISO channel. Go runs on Swift GPI Global Payment Innovation, which combines the traditional Swift messaging banking system. And then Swift GPI was a reaction to Ripple. GPI 2, or Swift's response to Ripple pitching banks, it was partially my fault because I spent a long time talking to Wim and Godfried at Bitcoin Amsterdam conference explaining how the XRP worked and how banks can integrate with it. In October, Swift announced an innovation from its discoveries to address the enormous difficulty of interoperability in cross-border transactions by linking multiple distributed ledger technology, DLT, networks and existing payment systems. Ripple utilizes DLT distributed ledger technology, which may tout as a more efficient platform for cross-border payments. And then is Ripple ready? Since its inception in 2012, Ripple has faced increased competition from a wide range of consortia, but it has managed to carve out a distinct niche. Ripple is the first member focused on distributed ledger technology, DLT, to migrate to the ISO 20022 standard in 2020. Ripple recently announced the expansion into Africa and also its first on-demand liquidity ODL customer in France when it partnered with Lemonway. Ripple Net's annualized payment volume run rate now exceeds 15 billion as ODL records 9 times growth year over year. Ripple's ODL now supports 40 payouts markets, including Singapore, Malaysia, Poland, Indonesia, Thailand, and more. So Ripple's definitely on the right track, but don't count out Swift. I mean, Swift GPI is already there. Swift Go. And it's something that you really need to pay attention to because a lot of social media influencers are just starting to find out, get punched in the dick and slapped in the face and starting to brace, as we may say, for something more than just Ripple. The on-demand liquidity part is what makes Ripple special. The cross-border payments does not. It's a dime a dozen technology. If you want to show me support and join me in Tom's Army with the 214 members of Tom's Army. As you know by now, or if you're new, this is my pitch. I don't take any paid advertising, no paid promotions. There's no special interest. Nobody can buy and pay or tell me what to say about any particular coin. Nobody can distort my views on cryptocurrency or any markets, as I'm not bought and paid for. This is strictly put on by the exclusive members of Tom's Army, the 214 members who pay $9.99 a month to ensure that I don't have to have any special interest, I don't have to promote any other way, and I don't have to say what my special audience wants me to say who pay me, as I don't take any paid promotions or advertising of any kind. And if you join Tom's Army, you get to join the Telegram. We have that's the links. We have 237 members. You get the Army, the Links, the Futures Leverage Trading Group. You also get the Nature Around the World. We got the Precious Metals Group, and those are all included. And then how you do that is just go to my videos, just go to the past video, and then you hit more. Come down here, hit more again, and then you can go down and hit XRP Future Millionaire. Or you can join me on MEXC where I trade. I trade on MEXC, BITGET, and UPHOLD. MEXC I do because there's no VPN, no spot fees, no KYC. You can 200x leverage the futures. But I like it because of no spot fees. They have IOTA, and they have a lot of my ISO coins, XRP included. Most of the ISO coins. BITGET, I love. It's the most user-friendly, but it's prohibited in the USA for new users. You'd have to use a VPN. I can still trade on it because I was already signed up. But unfortunately, with regulations, they're trying to save their own ass. And then UPHOLD, my most trusted, just high spot fees. So I keep my liquid spot money on there. And then I always send it over to whichever exchange has no spot fees, either BITGET or MEXC, to my crypto, and then I'll send it back. Hashtag the FUD stops here.